Saturday, August 20th, live from Commerce Casino for the inaugural UNF Championship belt. We have Terrion, Ware versus Albert, the Warrior Morales. Now, before these two do battle, they have graciously donated some of their time to come down here to the studio and face off in front of us. Gentlemen, my man. Let's do that. Let's do that. So, gentlemen, you guys did not get here by accident. There was a tournament, okay? And you guys both won, and I want to say dominating fashion. Have you guys watched any film on each other? Do you guys watch each other's last fights?
Well, I got a chance to watch after my fight. Got a chance to watch his fight.
Did you get to watch?
No, not yet.
Yeah, we watched it.
I've seen highlights.
You've seen highlights of it, so. Terrion, from watching Albert's last performance, what do you think?
I mean, what I think is just is what he's always been about. You know, he comes forward, he's aggressive, he looks for the finish. You know, we trained together in the past, you know, so we know a little bit about each other. So, you know, watching him fight, I wasn't surprised. You know, I picked him to win that matchup, and it was a great fight, and looking forward to the matchup.
Albert, you saw his highlights. What do you think?
This is what I expect, man. Terrion's been around in the game for a minute. Someone that I looked up to. That's not a secret. We used to train at system training center. That's the first gym I trained out of, full MMA. Actually, it's my second gym. It's where I started my amateur career. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's a veteran. You know, it's dope because he won by submission, right? Everybody thinks he's gonna knock you out with your hands or just outpace you with his hands, but he's ended with submission on the ground, and it looked like he was dominating on the ground. So definitely, you know, showing like that he's a veteran in the game, and I had to be 100% prepared. But I knew this was the fight that was going to happen. You know, I just knew from the beginning, even that way, and that's always like, it's just us going to be, it's going to be us in the end.
Let's talk about me for a second. Out of my little circle, I'm kind of known as like the guy that you call up and say, Thor, who's going to win this fight? You know, I do a little bit of fight predictions here and there. 60% of the time, I'm right every time. I've had the honor and pleasure of training with both you guys at some point. And not only that, I follow your guys' career pretty closely, not just because I like you guys, but because you guys are very exciting fighters to watch. And honestly, you guys are very similar in a lot of ways. One, you guys have veteran level experience. You guys have fought in the UFC and everything in between. You guys also have God-given talent, and you guys have razor sharp skill. You've trained together, as you alluded to earlier. What was it like training with Albert?
It was a great experience, man. He's a good training partner. You know, we worked together early on. I was a little established early in my career, more so in my career when he first came to the Systems Training Center. Whereas like I just started, you know, my pro career. He was coming up as an amateur, and you know, right away took a liking to him. You know, we trained together. You know, obviously being in the same weight classes and things like that. You know. Yeah, seeing him as a younger fighter coming in and be hungry, always wanted to be there, always wanted to train. You know, I gravitated a little more towards him to training with him and be recording him in some fights. And so, you know, training with him has always been a pleasure. We always, you know, give each other good rounds, good battle, good training, and we help build each other up. So it's great.
Albert, that same question. Do you think that your experience, I mean, how was it training with him? And also, do you think your experience training with him gives you some kind of advantage in this fight?
Training with them, let's answer that question first. So training with them, I mean, you can't ask for like, at that time at Systems Training Center, you know, shout out to them, you know, Marcus Cobal and Ian Harris at the time was the coach over there. Those guys put like, it was a dope time. Like, I mean, that's where I met a lot of you guys. You know, I met Marcos Bonilla, I trained under trained with Terrion, John Robles, like like Christos Giagos. Yeah. Shout out to Christos because he's got a problem here. But so many great fighters, man. So that gym, shout out to that gym because like it produced like a dope environment for us to train. And Terrion, being one of the leaders, was able to like, you know, lead by example. And I was able to follow that guy and see like that's what I want. All I wanted was the UFC, right? And I was training at the spot of all the best fighters. So I was like, all right, I'm where I need to be, you know. So you know that you know, I looked up to Terrion. Terrion cornered me in my state championship fight, which was something big for me, you know. So when you know he came out coaching, so it was pretty dope. But yeah, you know, do I feel that?
Yeah, both you guys. The same question for either. I'll let you guys answer first. I mean, training with somebody, I mean, it can be, there's pros and cons to it, you know? They know your stuff, you kind of know their stuff. It's been a while, so you guys have both evolved, but do you think that you might have a bit of an advantage in fighting someone else?
I mean, you could say, like, if we train enough, I mean, that was a long time ago. You know, he's a completely different fighter. I'm waiting for fighters, and I keep getting better, you know? I'm constantly growing, so I don't expect anybody to remember how I train, you know? We're always going to come back better every single day. But it does give you an advantage, you know. I guess you could see like there's like tendencies that never go away, you know what I mean? And you try to pick up on stuff like that, which you can remember in the gym, but I still think people change, you know. So I focus on training myself, you know what I mean? Like training myself to the best that I can be.
Absolutely.
So that's what I do.
What do you think? Do you think you might have an advantage or is it a disadvantage? Or how do you approach fighting someone that you've trained with before?
I think it all boils down to the individual. You know, we see, you know, matchups where guys have trained with each other before, and they fight each other, and you know, one person might think they have the advantage here or there, and they're wrong sometimes, right? I think it all boils down to the individual in terms of how they approach it. Like you said, you know, it's been a while since we, you know, trained together on a consistent basis. To really just be like, oh, I can exploit this and exploit that. Obviously, I know it's gotten better to watch them fight, and I've done the same thing. So I think at the end of the day, what it boils down to is who has improved, who's improved more, and who's going to make less mistakes. So I don't go into it thinking that, oh, well, this has worked in the past, I'm going to do this, or this hasn't worked in the past, let me work on that. It's just about rounding out your entire game. I think the only thing you can really take from, like you said, is like certain tendencies that are there, like, you know, what does a guy do when he gets hit? What does a guy do when he gets rocked? Does he shoot? Does he fight back? Things like that, you can kind of take into account. But ultimately, it's going to be who makes less mistakes and who's improved since then.
Absolutely. So I want to change gears a little bit. So there's a very cliche question that's asked a lot. It's important. Why did you start fighting? I'm not going to ask that because I already know the answer. It's for CBD sponsorships and free t-shirts. We already know that's the answer to the question. What I want to know from you guys is if you could play any professional sport in the world, what would it be?
Baseball.
Baseball. And why?
It's what I grew up doing. This was my first love. It's my first passion. I started when I was 5, and I fell just in love with just the whole cerebral part of the game as well too. It's a very difficult game, and something that I put thousands of hours into. So if I wasn't doing this, that's what I would be doing. Baseball.
Fair enough.
This guy's a fighter, man. Why bare knuckle?
I'm a fighter.
Because you're a fighter. I love it, man.
Yeah, I got a couple more years left, so we'll make that money fighting.
That's what's up. That's I'd like to see that. Like I'd like to see you play baseball. Shit. All right, so okay, you guys are fighters. And one thing I know about both of you guys is you guys train hard. Your training camps are grueling. You guys put in the work. You're very hardworking guys. But you're also parents. What is it like balancing being a parent and also being a fighter, going through the grind?
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, definitely an adventure, man. You know, it's crazy how like my career's kind of gone from, you know, it's always a roller coaster, life's a roller coaster. And I remember when I first started, not having, you know, anything, I would have to take my bus, I'd take my daughter on the bus, like 2 hours to get to systems to get practicing. The practice started at 8 or 9, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there, I forgot. But I know I would have to leave 2 hours early, it was pretty early. And I found myself doing that now because I messed up and crashed my car. So I'm doing that now sometimes, you know, or now luckily I have Ubers and I can afford to do Ubers now. Yeah. But like I remember just taking the bus in that grind, I'm back in that grind. So it's kind of a cool adventure. You know, it's kind of like I appreciate this time. I'm not going to be able to relive this moment again. So yeah. It's pretty cool that I get to spend time with my kids a lot.
Makes you hungry.
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest thing, man. That's the biggest thing.
For me, it's a joy, man. You know, I grew up an athlete. You know, my kids are naturally athletic, and so you know, right now they're being in summer school. They're with me all day. It's like they're in training camp with me. So, you know, having a chance to grow in this fight game, but also grow as a dad and learn the balance. You don't always get it right, but you know, just the experience of it all. You know, them being around it, seeing the work that I put in. You know, I think it's a valuable experience for them, you know, growing up, you know, seeing me, you know, get up at 4 a.m. and going to work and then going to training and going back to work and then going to train again. and just get used to that. It's a valuable experience for them. You know, just setting kind of that guidance in terms of, you know, what hard work where it can get you. But yeah, I find it a joy. It's fun, you know, watching them grow and watching them learn, and having them just be a part of this. You know, one of the hardest things, you know, is being away from them. You know, having fought in the UFC and having to travel, you know, out of the country and be away from them for, you know, weeks and things like that. It's not easy. So when I have a chance to have them around, it keeps more balanced and more relaxed.
Yeah, definitely. Getting to fight locally and being in front of your family, you know, for the whole training camp, which is great. Oh, that's awesome. Guys, so, you know, bringing it back to myself again. When I used to fight, right, I used to have a pre-fight ritual, you know, so if I was like the main event or something, I would go, I'd find a table, I'd get a little blankie, I'd get a pillow, and I'd go get under that table, and I would like sleep until maybe 15 minutes before the fight, and then my coach would wake me up, wrap my hands, you know, start hitting pads, whatever, and, you know, be listening to music. I was noise canceling headphones, so listening to music. I like Nickelback. I don't know about you guys. What's your favorite Nickelback song?
Photographs.
Mine too.
Rockstar.
Rockstar. Awesome. So, guys, what do you do before you go out there to fight? How do you warm up for the back?
I've carried my routine that I've done through all the sports that I've played, obviously mainly baseball, but I like to particularly watch the sport that I'm going to be doing. So if I was playing baseball, if I was playing basketball, I was watching highlights of my favorite athletes and just kind of, you know, putting myself in those moments of things where, you know, you gotta get a home run and not in the ninth, things like that. And so for me now, obviously with fights, like I'll watch my fights, I'll watch other fights. The main fight that I love to watch is the BJ Penn Sean Short fight. I watched that all the time. And so I'll be in the back, I'll just watching it and just kind of, you know, doing me, like not really thinking too much, not really just kind of letting, you know, thoughts come and go, move around. You know,
Can I stop you for a second? Why that fight? That was a bloodbath. That was a very good fight.
That fight was one of the first fights like that I watched that made me want to do the sport. Like BJ Penn was one of my favorite athletes and one of the reasons why I got into the sport. And so watching that fight was like, you know, it was one of those things where you know, he was coming back and taking the belt from them and this, that, and the other. And so it was a cool whole little story that's kind of attached to that and things like that. But I just remember like watching that fight and just like being like amazed by, you know, like by BJ and at that time being in his prime and being unstoppable. And so, you know, for me, like that was one of like those memories, those moments where it kind of got me into fighting. And so I always kind of circle back and watch that fight.
It was a great time for fighting. What do you listen to? Do you listen to music back there?
Yeah, I listen to music, listen to a bunch of different styles. And I listen to classical music, but mostly just like to listen to hip hop, listen to whatever, you know, top 40 favorite songs are from. You know, just kind of getting into that road, wonder out there going down.
Absolutely. Albert, what's your ritual like there?
I don't know, kind of chill. It's funny, I was just actually talking to someone about the locker room. They're saying they hate the vibe of the locker room. It was my jiu-jitsu producer. Hates the vibe of the locker room. Like, I really like it. Like, I'm just chilling, you know what I mean? Like, I fall asleep sometimes. That's the best, man. I just sit there and fall asleep. Because especially now, like, we're towards the end of the cards.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a couple of times now. I like to sleep somewhere in the middle. And I'm not listening to music. I like to listen to audio books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Are you listening to one right now?
I'm always on Relentless, Wayne.
Okay.
I know that's not what I'm actually.
So what is that? Is that Tony Robbins?
No, that's Tim Grover.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Michael Jordan's, he was Kobe Bryant's, Dwayne Wade. Those are like the main three he likes to talk about in the books, right? But he talks about like this level of athlete or just performer, because you can be a bus driver, you can be a teacher, you can be whatever. Like if you do your job to the highest level, you know, you're considered this cleaner, right? Which is like the high, there's everybody in the NBA is good, right? So those I think are coolers, right? Then you have the next level, and those guys are those are the coolers. But I don't even know what that third level is. But the second level is a cooler, right? And the cooler is like your team captains, right? Your all-stars, right? And then you got Jordan, Kobe, right? You got those like elite athletes that are above everybody else, right? Just because they are. Why? It's because they work hard, they train, they're consistent, whatever. But there's that level. he talks about that, you know, and like, cause he got to train with all of them, and he kind of sees them, so.
So insight, seeing the best guys at what they do and why they're
And why they do that, exactly.
Absolutely. So this question right here, you guys are in a very privileged position to be pioneers in some way. You're going to be the first, whatever happens, one of you guys walking away being the first UNF champion, right? So, I mean, that's something they can never take away from you. What does it mean to be the first UNF champion?
It means a lot, man, because it's like it's something that no matter what, no one can ever take away from. It's going to be in the history books. And you know, I'm sure, you know, like any other company that's ever started, you know, when they started in the beginning, they weren't sure, you know, obviously how big they're going to be and not being able to predict that. And so, you know, with this, it's like, you know, who knows how big it's going to get. So that's exciting for me, you know, to have that opportunity to be, you know, crowned the first ever champion and be in the history books. And, you know, it's my kids and grandkids, and that's something that, you know, they'll be able to see. So that's exciting, you know, to have that opportunity. So that's absolutely.
Any question?
It's just a head start to get on my goated, you know, I mean, get goated for up next fighting history.
For you people out there, GOATed means greatest of all time for you boomers. Okay.
So yeah, so you know what I mean, because you need one to start off. If you don't even have one, you can't consider them GOATed. You know what I mean? So gotta get it, defend it a couple times, and see what's up. But it would mean a lot, you know, because it just shows my kids' hard work pays off. Shows my team hard work pays off. You know, because I see them every day. They're grinding. They're grinding because they know I'm grinding. I'm grinding because I know they're grinding. They're watching. So it's dope, man. I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Okay, last question. I think that's training to go to. Why are you going to win this fight?
Because I believe in my coaching staff, and I believe in my abilities and my hard work. You know, I always believe in myself, and anything I've ever set my mind to, you know, I've been able to do. And so, you know, that's I place my belief in. Strictly just in my hard work, and magical superstitions or anything like that, but just hard work and the people that I'm around me, I trust them.
Absolutely. Why are you going to win this fight?
Like I said, Terrion is, you know, a great fighter. He's been around a minute. He's shown that he's not just a striker, you know what I mean? He's a grappler, he's, you know, a killer. Like the fight that he brought up, the Jens Pulver, was it Jens Pulver?
No, Sean Shirk.
Sean Shirk, right? And BJ Penn, like, that's how he fights. You know what I mean? He's a warrior, he's a savage, he's the Flash. You know, like I said, he's well-rounded. But I know I'm more well-rounded. I know I'm stronger. I know I've been in the game just as long as he had. Well, not just as long as, but I feel like I'm, you know, at that point where it's my time. And yeah, we'll see now. We'll see August 20th. It's gonna go down.
I'm really excited that I'm going to be in this fight. Guys, thank you so much for coming down here. Appreciate it, guys.